WIFTBPM.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene, McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence, Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
Nigga, that's the court. You know what I'm saying? You see that they tearing the shit down, though, man. I remember back in the day, everybody used to be out here joking and shit, man. It's your boy, young fella, man. You know what I'm saying? Tearing our shit down, nigga. Come on, nigga. Fuck with those. 60638 to the world, blow, though. You understand?
On this road from a boy to a man with no one to hold my hand. Shit, I'm just praying that I make it home safe. You never know what to expect when living life up in the jacks. One wrong step could be the reason you don't make it home safe. Gang writings on the walls, niggas running from the laws. But through it all, we just really trying to make it home safe. Navigating the obstacles of the streets can be one hell of a feat. Think it's sweet, you might not make it home safe. A bunch of children of the ghetto, unaware of the shit that awaited us all. Staring at the letter CVL spray painted on walls. Was just a tender boy, son of a single mother, expecting a baby girl. Now yet subjected to this crazy world. And at this time I'm thinking life was all Saturday morning cartoons and action figures, not knowing that as I get bigger that shit'll get dark soon. Them cap guns turned to broke revolvers with bodies on them. Some rebel, some took to the streets cause ain't nobody want them. I went from mama's boy to child of the streets, a child of deceit. I was young and running wild in the streets, hanging with folks them, but I wouldn't plug. They just accepted me, gave me some lit, told me fear no Vic, that was the recipe. Can't run the streets if you know you got poor endurance. Stay on point cause proper preparation prevents poor performance. Had to look, listen, and learn to peep the underhanded. Barely surviving, striving for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hit the county couple times, felt like I was stuck in time. Family looking at me like I lost my motherfucking mind. Coming home from school high, mommy tweaking, cursing me out. I holla, fuck you, bitch. Grab some of my shit, then leave the house. Graduated to selling crack and weed. Made a couple bucks, but I was getting womped. Blind to the tricks of the older clucks. Got stumped out by the police for a young nigga in these cold streets. It ain't no peace. All that speedball and get your brains left on a slow leak. Mommy moved us to the burbs. That created bigger issues. I'm on the metro headed to the hood with weed scales and pistols. Folks got jumped. It's go time. Now I think I'm a hitter. We never found them niggas. A blessing that I ain't have to pull a trigger. I thought I was too live with that bullshit 2-5. Trying to be something I wasn't. I was living true lies. To the memory of all my niggas left deceased, I post some liquor in your honor, hoping that you rest in peace. On this road from a boy to a man with no one to hold my hand. Shit, I'm just praying that I make it home safe. You never know what to expect when living life up in the jacks. One wrong step could be the reason you don't make it home safe. Gang writings on the walls, niggas running from the laws. But through it all, we just really trying to make it home safe. Navigating the obstacles of the streets can be one hell of a feat. Think it's sweet, you might not make it home safe.
A woman died after being shot multiple times while sitting in a car in the LeClaire Courts neighborhood.
Courtney Guzman is live at Mount Sinai Hospital with more.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Good Friday afternoon to all my people out there. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Shout out to everybody out there that's rocking with the bigs on the soil on this Friday afternoon. I am Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land. I'm holding it down right now, waiting for my player partner T-Tom to tap in with me on the other side. He was on here for a second, but we gonna wait on him to tap back in. I got my boy Ron Rilla holding me down behind the boards. Rilla, what's good, Joe?
What's good, my people? How y'all feeling today?
Man, you already know, man. It's all good, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. I miss being on the soil with the bigs.
Man, you know what time it is, man. We got to get it cracking, man. It's only right to have Ron Rilla in the building today, man. I think we got T on here, man. Let me tap in with him real quick. There we go. T, you there, brother?
I'm here, bro, man. Back down on the soil.
Back down on the soil, man. I'm gonna get that bottom screen. I'm gonna get that right on the other side of things. But man, how you feeling out there, brother?
I'm feeling good. Hey, by this time the people know who is who. Even though I know you got to do it for technical reasons, man. But of course, it's always a good Friday when I get to wrap up my work week with my On the Soil family, man. I'm definitely ready for the day. Got something special for the people. But as usual, man, I'm locked and loaded, ready to get it in.
No doubt, man. Good to see you, man. Some special drop for the people. We said we were gonna hold out and give it to our On the Soil family members first. So we'll save that for whenever you're ready. But man, another Friday. Another week in the books. Hey, man, is May's birthday today or is it tomorrow, Ron?
It's technically tomorrow, but you know how colored people are. We gonna celebrate all week.
We gonna celebrate all week, man. Shout out to the Mays Jackson, the boss man, turning the big 5-0 halfway there.
Yes, sir.
Man, Mays don't look his age, man. He got them grays in his beard and in his hair, but if he was all black, man, you wouldn't be able to tell that guy was 50, man. So
black don't crack,
man. Black don't crack, man. This when you take care of yourself, when you take care of yourself and you live a good life and you're doing the right thing, man. Things happen to pan out for you, man. So shout out to Mays Jackson, man. Happy 50th birthday, my good brother. I know this COVID situation is taking his turn up down a little bit, but if you know Mays, you know he's going to find a way to get it in one way or the other. So
he already been sipping that lemonade.
I heard him this morning. I watched the show this morning. I heard him, man. I saw him, gracefully bowing out. He was on his way out, so he's probably somewhere taking a nap right now, man. But, yeah, definitely want to give a shout-out to that good brother, man. 50 years old. Started What's in It for the Black People Media, and we definitely looking forward to making 2021 the official year where we take off on What's in It for the Black People Media. And Mays is a good guy, man. A lot of people, when you bring Mays' name up, they may have some sideways things to say. He said it himself, but I know one thing about Mays is he's going to always keep it 100% skrill, and so far so good with me, man. So I'm looking forward to that brother having a great birthday and making his next 50 better than his first 50. T, what you got to say to him?
Nah, man, just a happy birthday, man. The leader of the pack when it comes to What's in It for the Black people, like you said, I know he's gonna find a special way to do his thing. This pandemic not gonna stop much, But other than that, man, 50 is a huge blessing. Any of us would be majorly blessed to make it to that checkpoint. So definitely a tip of the cap and a raise of the glass and a spark of the joint for my man Mays today and tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, man. Pour it up, light it up, whatever you do, whatever your vice is. If you don't do nothing, just wish that brother a happy birthday, man, and do one up for him, man. But, hey, man, you always trying to check my temperature, man. Let me check your temperature, man. What's going on over there? You on location today, man. What's cracking with you, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I feel like I'm still getting my internal clock together, all the while trying to continue to what we got going on with the bigs forward. And also, man, trying to get back around, a couple of people that I got to get back around as far as to continue to push what I got going with them for, man. I feel like as we get ready to close this month off, just trying to make sure that I check off a couple of the things that's on my to-do list that I wanted to make sure I check off. Low key, me and the guys got a fitness challenge that we've been getting it in on, man. So it's been a solid last few weeks for me on my end, man. And I'm looking forward to a very fruitful February for you and I. So let's get it.
Oh man, Mars out here having fitness challenges, man. Put me on, man. What's the actual challenge, bro?
Man, it's really just a challenge to get us on our shit as far as the things that we need to have a part of our daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of us got goals to lose weight. A couple of us got goals to add some weight and tone out. So, it's nothing too specific, but I feel like all of our regimens are going to include eating healthier and adding some type of physical activity to our daily regimen. So it ain't easy. I can't front. It's not easy, but I feel like the vibe on the set right now is encouraging and inspiring, and I'm looking forward to go ahead and taking the crown. Here's one thing about me. I'm a challenge. I can't not accept the challenge, and when I accept the challenge, I'm trying to win. So I know those guys feel the same way. So as they're getting on their, on their routine, I'm getting on mine, and we're gonna see who come out on top in about 6-7 weeks.
Man, it's all about getting back on your square, getting back on your dean, man, and living right out here, man. So I'm gonna stay on you, man. I know most of the guys. I got a personal relationship with most of the guys, so I'm gonna hit them up and make sure that they stay on theirs too, and that y'all make this thing what it's supposed to be, because it's only right, man. Starting off 2021, we said, we kicked 2020 to the curb. We were starting 2021 off the right way, and it's all about that, man. It's all about getting a healthier lifestyle, whether you want to go vegan or vegetarian or, keto diet, like my boy Chris said, or whatever
Yes, sir.
whatever you feel like is necessary, because everybody's body is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. But one thing we know is that we got to stay healthy. So, getting some fitness in along with eating right and taking care of your mind, body, and soul is imminent, man. So, I'm with you, bro. I'm going to hoop after we leave on the soil today. I'm gonna
Yes, sir.
hang out with Herb and two in the lobby for a minute and listen to I said what I said. But I'm going to the gym. They finally opened the gym back up, and we can finally run 5-on-5s again. So, man, I gained
Are they still? Go ahead. Now I was wondering if they still running the mask demo.
Y'all, yeah, you still got to hoop in the mask, and that's cool. I mean, I'd rather have to hoop in the mask than not being able to hoop at all, man. I hopped on the scale the other day, and I definitely gained a few pounds, man, like I never have before. So I don't know if it's – I mean, I'm sure it's because of the pandemic, but, I mean, my eating habits haven't really changed, but I think it's the fact that I haven't really been on the court. This is the longest that I haven't been on the court in – probably my life. The pandemic was what, March or April, maybe March?
Definitely March.
And I hadn't hooped in like 9 months, bro. So it was burning me up on the inside, and I hopped on the scale. Me and, my boy Johannes, part of the 300 Makes Club. We go to Lakeshore. Even when the gym was shut down and we couldn't run, we were still trying to get to the gym at least once a week, and we part of the 300 Makes Club. If y'all don't know what the 300 Makes Club is, me and my boy Johannes, man, we go to the gym and we get up 300. It's not just getting up 300 shots, though. We got to get up 300 makes. So we got to make 300 shots before we leave the gym. Shout out to my boy Drew Hanlon. Drew Hanlon is one of the best trainers in the NBA, trains all of the best guys in the league. Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, all of those guys. And he sent me his booklet that he uses for his pros. So I kind of implement some of those. Most of them are too tough for us, but I took the ones that me and Yo could probably knock out the easiest. And we do our 300 makes, so it's been cool, but I love to run and get that 5-on-5, man. So back to the runs this week. Looking forward to getting back in there, getting my win back. The jumper ain't never went nowhere. I see somebody. Who is this? My boy Randy said my jumper rusty. Hey, bro. Y'all saw Steph Curry make 105 straight on SportsCenter that day? I'm pretty sure I could make about 50 straight. I got it on tape the other day where I made 25 straight, so,
Ooh, really? What?
Oh, no. As Maze. I work out with Lil Maze on a few times, and I show him that I might be getting up there in age, but this jump shot ain't going nowhere. So, back on the court today, man. I'm happy to be back and get my win.
That's
get the.
Hold on, I 25 straight. Woo! I feel you, Gino.
And there was nothing. Now
to not be on the court for real in 9 months.
T,
that's special.
you've been on the court with me a few times, bro. When I get in that rhythm, it's a done deal, bro. I put my money up, like I always say, I put my money up right now against anybody that don't hoop professional, that ain't never hoop professional, against me in a shootout. I got 500 on it right now that I beat whoever you bring to the cipher. I'm putting my 500 up. Period.
Whew. Look, I go to the gym once a week. I'm gonna start bringing you, man. We run fulls. I have to add you to my 5, man.
Just hit me on the wing, bro. I know how y'all hoop, Ron. I know everybody think they Steph Curry. I know the big guys want to shoot threes.
Everybody.
Nah, I just hit me on the wing. I'll play some D. My lateral movement ain't what it used to be. I got a hip issue, so I got to get that taken care of. But other than that, this jump shot, just call me Bless Buckets. T, you know the hashtag, man. Bless Buckets, brother.
Gino, you say that right after I say I love a challenge. You got me wanting to hop in the gym to see how hot I can get real quick to see if I can throw that 5 into the mix with you.
I always tell you come on through, man. Even though you got that messed up left hand, man, I still see the form on the jumper. You can get your wind up however you need to. But come on, man. You got an open invitation to the gym. So maybe we can get the gym back down on 51st in Indiana that Mays was, letting us in. Maybe we can go down there and get our shots up.
No, that's for real. But I know how it is with you. So anybody that's down in the comments, I got 250 on the side bet. Okay, if y'all want to get busy with Gene, if anybody ain't believing it, I'll take that bet as well. But yeah, Gino, man, definitely happy to be back on the soil. I can see from the sun shining to the crib. Hey, I'm in the hundreds. Anytime I can see the sun shining through my windows, I know it's beautiful outside. So definitely shout out to everybody that's out there enjoying the weather.
Yeah, man. When I came outside this morning, I saw the snow had melted off my car. I'm like, oh, yeah, that sun did a number out there. But I saw that it's supposed to be another snowstorm maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. So, man, if you can,
I saw Schilling say that last night. I was going to bring it up. Don't put the shovels up, y'all.
Man, get to the stores, get to the grocery stores, do what you got to do before tomorrow morning if you can. And, yeah, what's a Chicago winter without a couple snowstorms, man? Keeping that shovel, keeping that brush available.
I just cleaned my car, man.
Ron, you got the newbie, man, so it's only right for you to get blessed a couple times, man. Get stuck in the snow a couple times.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So
yo, Gino, I got a question for you though, man.
Yep.
Did you get involved in any of the stock market activity from yesterday? And I know that GameStop has been in the news. Reddit, for basically leading the charge to kind of tip the scales when it comes to the market. Robinhood and them taking options off the table, which is ridiculous, all the way up to yesterday with cryptocurrency and Dogecoin. People were cashing out. I don't know if you want to share, but did you get involved in any of it?
No, I didn't get involved in any of that, man. I am involved in a couple stocks. I do have a couple options out there that have been doing pretty good for me. Apple, when the Apple stock split back in January, I did cop a couple of those. So those have been doing okay. I'm pretty sure those probably won't start rising until later on in the year. But I do have NIO. If y'all on this stock option tip, NIO, that's like the foreign Tesla. They've been doing pretty decent since I copped them for the low. And CRISPR as well, CRISPR, CRISPR. It's like it's this new type of medicine that they're trying to create to help with the coronavirus and all of these other these new viruses and things that are gonna be on the rise in the near future. So CRISPR, CRISPR, it's done really well since I copped it for the low as well. But going back to the GameStop and the other one, man, I caught on to that late, and I didn't really, it's funny how, when the poor find a way to get in,
to get some W's.
Yeah, how quickly they can shut you down. You know what I'm saying? And when I went on Robinhood the next morning to look at the GME GameStop stock, and they definitely shut that boy down ASAP. You couldn't even cop. And then I got a couple emails talking about the whole thing. And then, they sued Robin Hood for not letting the people be able to go on there and cop. So it's just a lot going on out there, man. And it just shows you the power of the people in power. I hear Cuz and Herb on I Said What I Said the last couple episodes. They've been debating, going back and forth about, who really has the power and who's powerless. And that there was a clear indication of who was in power and who were the powerless. So, no, I didn't come up on that, T. Shout out to everybody that did come up. I'm glad y'all did, but looking forward, man.
You're on point. It's definitely a lesson in, well, if you needed a reminder. I'm not sure too many people needed a reminder, but if you did, I mean, that top 1% controls everything.
Bro. That top 1%, what they got, like 40% of the world's income.
Yes, I mean, and
on, man.
As you see, they control the stock market. So, I can't wait to get in on the class action suit against Robin Hood. I mean, I definitely was looking to get involved and couldn't. So, I felt like I had to mention that because when I hopped on Twitter, every single body, no matter who you were, actors, athletes, journalists, it seemed like it was the topic all up and down my timeline the last couple of days. So I had to see if you were able to jump in and do anything with that.
Man, it's funny, man, when you get on social media, man, when COVID came out, everybody they were scientists and doctors, and now with this stock tip, now everybody is
everybody's
now they day traders. It's crazy, man, how
supermarket watchers and everything.
Come on, man. I'm not going.
Really, it's just a continuation of the susu activity on the low, bro.
Ooh.
It's all about when you jump in and when you jump out.
Man,
I mean, so people got they practicing in the susu activity a couple of months ago, and now with the market doing what it's doing, it's a few new faces in it that that's that was their origin of risking their money. So I say, but yeah, it's definitely a whole new thing right now.
Man, I still see people talking about hopping in susus and all of that, and it's like, hey, man, if you didn't get in on the susu action in the middle of last year, or late last year, give it up, bro. Give it up.
Definitely give it up until it blows up again. Who knows?
On the real, because I mean, me and you happen to get in and get out unscathed. Made a couple dollars, but that return on investment, that ROI was looking kind of bleak as more people caught on. So I'm glad me and you caught the early win and got in.
Yes.
And were able to come up a little bit. But yeah, I still see people talking about the susu. They try to come up with different names for it, and I'm like, bro, you do know that I got in on this early. You can't. I'm good. I'm good. You don't have to keep. You don't have to
call
keep
it a friendship circle.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
All kind of shit.
So I'm straight, man. But shout out to everybody that came up in the market the other day. But it was a complete demonstration, and it showed the complete range of power by that 1%, man. It's crazy when you look at those graphs and those these reports about where all of the money is in the world, and you think about the 1%, and then you think about the 99%.
Exactly.
It's like,
that's trying to come up.
Man. I hate to crush people's dreams, man, but it's over. It's over, bro. It's over, man. Like Tu said, man, you better off going to learn how to grow some greens and go cop you a pistol and go do them type of things instead of thinking you about to become a millionaire, or you about to hit the lotto, or you about to hit a scratch off, or whatever the hell else you think type of come ups.
That low key should be at the top of everybody's list. Learn how to grow things yourself. Number 1, 2, strap up. Okay, so
gems for the people, gems for the people, brother. But look, let's take our first break, man. When we come back on the other side of the break, we got to talk Cubs, Joe, because I'm getting more pissed off. I'm getting more pissed off.
I was waiting for this day.
Oh man.
I was waiting when you were gonna feel like this, bro. I feel you.
I've been holding it in for a minute, man. So we're gonna talk Cubs when we come back on the other side of the break. I'm Eugene. I got my player partner T Tom in the building. Shout out to everybody messing with the brothers on the soil, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram, whatever your social media choice is, man, make sure that you continue to rock with the brothers on the soil. We'll be back in a minute.
WIFTBPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Hey, yo, my music is addictive to the user. I let the rush soothe them, they tune in, then I school them. Listen, homie, this shit ain't real. It's just illusions used to fool men, women, and child to confusion. Start running wild, changing views when niggas think they winning when they losing. Caught up in movements, moving foolish, letting life fool them, betting they life losing, trying to better their life and vice moving, cruising, grabbing clicks and cruising, bagging chicks and dudes off tips with slick maneuvers, turn OGs to broke thieves and hungry crooks. Stand sideways my way, giving me funny looks. That's why I hide my money in books. They scared to learn, alerted to words, swerving towards murderous curves. In the dark, working the curve. I'ma still shine cause I'm the light, and I'ma burn to my purpose to serve. Knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. It's the wisdom that shines through the visions of the mist. The main challenge is to maintain a balance between your soul and the body, and control is the science. Knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. It's the wisdom that shines through the visions of the mist. The main challenge is to maintain a balance between your soul and the body, and control is the science. Pussy on the brain, T-bone steaks, a pint of dog, light in the jaw, pushing cane on the paper, writing bars, lines that similar to scars that run deep. I've been involved in the race since the beginning, running these streets like Kenyans when it was dark with no heat. Used to spar with the stars before I nodded to sleep. I hardly speak, it's hard for me. But all I see from the broads and the cars on this darkened street, parts of me from the heart is hard, and Mars was deep, starving for the part when we were starting to eat. Since Marvin argued deep with an armory of harmony, charming my father's feet, calm them, alcoholic talking, constantly walking through the valley with his arms on me. I've been here since life in itself, good versus evil in the hood with my people, fight myself. Knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. It's the wisdom that shines through the visions of the mist. The main challenge is to maintain a balance between your soul and the body, and control is the science. Knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. It's the wisdom that shines through the visions of the mist. The main challenge is to maintain a balance between your soul and the body, and control is the science. Quiet is kept, my words kept, miners and vets, higher than pilots and jets, behind the sirens and tech, shorties crying out west. It's been a war going on since Osiris and Set, before man acquired the text, written in stone on walls. It's all laws and the signs of commit of how society slept in the eyes of the best, the science of life. We lost while we flossed the boss, signing the checks while we off buying the best. Diamond shines on our necks, bled with winded. Hey, come on, man. Too many bars right there, man. You on the soil with the bigs. I'm Eugene McIntosh. Got my player partner T-Tom on the other end. We are the bigs, the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land. T-Tom, what's good, my brother?
It is all good, man. Ready to see what you got about these Cubs, because it's a rare occurrence that these guys are on your bad side, man. Jumping on the beat in 2016. It's been a fun ride, mostly because these dudes have been competing. I'm wondering if that's going to be the case the next go round for 2021. Gino, what's on your mind, bro? How you feeling about those Cubbies?
Where do we start, man? Pick a topic. You've been watching you in tune just as much as I have.
Who is this pitcher that they just signed yesterday, bro?
I don't know, man. Some guy who was signed to the Baltimore Orioles. He signed as a free agent with the Orioles in the December of 2019, but decided to sit out the 2020 season due to COVID. We know that the rotation is lacking right now. It's only Kyle Hendricks, who was one of the aces last year. Him and you probably shared ace duties. We know Jose Quintana signed with the Angels. Alec Mills is back. Alec Mills had a good season last year, so they need depth. They're hurting in the pitching, starting pitching area right now, and they need depth. So that's really all that was with that signing yesterday. We don't know too much about the guy, but he does have major league experience, so that's cool. That's cool. But I'm looking for Adbert Alzolay, and
one of the in-house guys.
Yeah, and it would be good if they could sign Chris Archer. I was hoping that's when I saw Cubs sign pitcher, I was hoping the next two words would be Chris Archer. But again, where are we? Like, if we sign Chris Archer, like, where are we? I mean, I'm with you, man. I feel like right now the Cubs are here to compete. And if you told me back in 2015 that the Cubs were in 2020 just be trying to compete, then I would say you were a fool, because we were lining up to, have that type of Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox type of run where it was dynasty talk. And that just hasn't been the case, man. 2016 was a glorious year, and every year after that has been you just falling deeper and deeper into the abyss, man. And I feel like right now, I remember a couple weeks ago, shout out to our boy Gordon Wittenmeyer for NBC Sports. He wrote an article, and it was basically saying that the Rickies need to just sell the team, man. And I didn't want to jump off the porch on that. Man, we know Gordon is as plugged in as anybody on the Cubs beat. So when I need something, when I need some background info, Gordo is definitely the go-to man. But I wanted to sit back, let it marinate, and do some of the knowledge on my own. We got a relationship with Jay Hay. We can talk to CJ, talk to a couple other guys who've been around for a minute, and that can give us background info on the front office and those guys who are in control. So now that it's 2 weeks later and we've seen some of the moves the Cubs have made, Yu Darvish being traded to the Padres, Kyle Schwarber not getting the arbitration, ended up signing with the Nationals. Them not signing John Lester back, that was it for me. That's when I was like, okay, Gordo is on to something now, because this is a guy who, if not the biggest free agent signing in Chicago sports history, is top 3 easily. And this is a guy who helped transform your franchise, man, and he did everything in his power to help bring a World Series to that team. And then his availability, a guy who you could depend on every 5 days to come out, take that mound, take the bump, and give everything he had. Now, he is on the back end of his career. I think this is like his 16th year. But it's just no way in hell that you don't bring John Lester back just to be the guy in the clubhouse to be able to be a sponge and for guys to be able to talk to and get that wisdom from. So that was the nail in the coffin to let me know that the Ricketts, y'all on the clock now, man. Y'all are really on the clock now. And hearing some other things going on behind the scenes, man, I'm hearing that they're having internal troubles about, Tom Ricketts being the face of the ownership and, Laura and Todd and Pete and them being tight because, he gets all the credit for being, the owner, while they're all basically co-owners. And I think the thing that really stands out to me, T, is, boy, y'all didn't buy the team. Your daddy brought the team. Y'all, he just gave y'all he put y'all in ownership position. It's
Pops definitely just signed the check and said, hey, y'all do y'all thing. Just make sure the seats is filled.
Just
like y'all said they was gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? And then T is so another sign to me was when we were wouldn't we have been at Cubs convention already? Cubs convention would have been like last week or something, right?
Yeah, it would have been I think last weekend at the Hilton. And so yeah, they didn't get to face the fans, and I think that they probably were happy about that.
Oh man, dude, do you remember when Tom Ricketts? Because remember, Do you remember when Tom Ricketts got on the stage and he started talking, and then he mentioned something about Marquis, and the people
Absolutely.
the boos just started flying out of nowhere?
I remember hearing the boos from. We were in the room right next door with Shake,
Right.
Still having drinks with members of the Cubs and everything. And so we were hearing the boos, and we're like, "What the hell is going on?" He's like, "Oh, he's talking about the Marquee Network." And I'm like, just shaking my head. I've been shaking my head since.
That was a sign, bro. That was a sign that, you know, the people weren't going. You know, they continue to act like a small market team, bro. It's really blowing me that this is the third largest market in America, and these guys are acting like they're the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Devil Rays or something. When, hey man, it's not my fault. It's not Cubs fans' fault that y'all guys couldn't get public funding to demolish Wrigley Field and or rebuild Wrigley Field in Wrigleyville and turn it into Rickettsville, man. It's not our fault that y'all had to go $1 billion in debt. You know, that's not our fault. So at the expense of the fans, now they already got the highest ticket prices in Major League Baseball. Then they talking about, you know, this deep loss of revenue last year. Like, every team didn't lose revenue last year, man. It's like the same thing I always say to you. It's like, who the hell do y'all think y'all are talking to, man? And
it's the first year that they didn't make that revenues didn't increase in like 20 years.
Oh,
so they've been making money hand over fist for as long as anybody can remember. So,
and it's a family business, so you never know what these guys are doing outside of the Cubs, man. So they're really blowing me, man. They're really blowing me. And I think back to Gordon's article a couple weeks ago talking about Tom Ricketts and them should just sell the team, and it took me back to something that Theo said when he said the thrill of coming into a franchise like the Lovable Losers and being on the men to turn this thing around and giving yourself a 5-year plan to turn this thing around and actually, you know, the plan hitting in 4 years. He's like, the thrill, there's nothing like the thrill of that. But when you get on the other side of it and you reach the mountaintop and now you have to maintain, I think that's where, you know, it is with the Ricketts right now. And I just don't think that they're having fun anymore, you know, having to actually deal with the real side of being in baseball management and being owners of a team. Well, if you want to call them owners, but being owners of a team. So they're really blowing me, man, and they're definitely on the clock in my eyes. I feel like when I listened to John Lester, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday when I listened to John Lester's press conference and his signing with the Washington Nationals, and he confirmed that he did have conversations with Tom Ricketts and Jed Hoyer about, you know, coming back to the Cubs. And, you know, he said he didn't get an offer until, like, I think he called it the nitty gritty, you know, of the stages when he started talking with the Nationals. So he said it was disappointing, but he said he was excited to you know, get with the Nationals with Steven Strasburg and Corbin and Max Scherzer and basically just be a fly on the wall, see how those guys operate, and basically just fit in where he can, man. I feel like, you know, what he said about the Cubs, he said there were no hard feelings, there weren't any negative conversations, but he also said, you know, he sees where the Cubs, where they're going and what's going on. He says, you know, I see where they're headed. That doesn't mean they're going to be bad, but, you know, I just know the signs being a 16-year vet in the league. I know the signs of when, you know, things are going in the opposite direction. So, you know, those last couple things, you know, Darvish, Schwarber, Quintana, and now not signing John Lester. And then, like I said, going all the way back to the Cubs convention last year when they booed him once he mentioned Marquee Sports. And do you remember his slick comment about, yeah, in a year y'all ain't going to be born about Marquee? And it's like, bruh, Marquee might have been the worst.
That's how you knew his feelings was hurt.
Man, Marquee might have been the worst decision you ever made, bruh. Like, stop it, man. So
it was the classic example of going a little bit too far. I mean, they were enjoying the success financially from turning the Cubs, already one of the most profitable organizations out there, even losing, you know, even with them being a losing team, but turning them into a World Series team. I'm sure it took those profits to another level. But they did, like you said, but I don't think they kept it playing. You know what I mean? They wanted more, they got greedy. And what, a year later, people still are complaining about not being able to watch the Cubs game. And if you know anything about the Cubs, the reason they became the lovable losers is because the whole world got to see them on WGN. All you had to do was turn to WGN Superstation, and you can see the Cubs. Now you have to wait for a national televised game, or you have to go ahead and add marquee to your cable plan.
Not
Which, if
happening.
anybody with a cable bill knows that that's like out the window.
Not happening. And luckily, I had Hulu Live, and Marquee was one of the stations on Hulu. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then I turned on Hulu one day, and Marquee ain't even on there. So they didn't remove Marquee off of Hulu, and I'm like, well, that's cool because I don't really care. Like, I mean, I got a seat in the press box if I need to see the Cubs, but it was. It's getting ridiculous, man. And then today, I know everybody out there, all my Cubs fans, they saw that the Cubs, pending the physical, are signing former Dodgers outfielder Jock Peterson, who he spent like parts of 7 seasons with the Dodgers. He was kind of huff last year. He did come through in the World Series, in the playoffs for the Dodgers last year. I think he hit like 382, hit 2 bombs. And had a really good playoff series for the Dodgers, but man, he is an upgrade defensively from Kyle Schwarber, but I feel like they're the same. Same type of hitter. It's like
absolutely.
It's like you got him for $3 million cheaper. I think Schwarber signed for $10 million in Washington, or $8 million. I'm not sure, but they got him cheaper, which. Man, if you could save $1 million and put $1 million back in your pocket, so be it. But I just feel like it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, was that Jock Peterson, I think he was like top 25 free agents on the market this year. And it was a good signing. I can't even lie. That's a good signing. But again, T, are you signing these guys to make a run for the ship, or is this just, trying to fool the fans into, we're not retooling, we're not rebuilding, we're still talented enough to compete? Because me, the NL Central is probably the toughest, if not the toughest, top 2 toughest divisions in Major League Baseball. So they'll be able to.
It's disgusting, low key.
Yeah, they'll be able. They'll be able to compete. Just picking and plugging Jock Peterson if he isn't the everyday left fielder. Don't forget they signed Phillip Ervin in the offseason. So with Jay Hay and right, Happer in center. And then you can mix and match left field with Phillip Ervin and Jock Peterson. Chris Bryant, it's been talks about him, in trade talks. You still got Javi at short. Nico Horner and David Bodie are probably, mix and match at second. We still got Riz at first. Willie is behind the plate. It's been talks of him being trade bait as well. I think that's why they I don't think Miguel Amaya, who's in A-ball, I don't think he's ready to step into the catcher role as a major league catcher right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's still maybe a month or so before spring training starts, and that's another thing. It's like there were talks about spring training not starting on time, and it's just like, does spring training really need to start on time? Like, what do you think about that? Do you think spring training needs to start on time, or should they push it back, a couple more weeks and then just extend the season maybe into November?
Well, I think that, first of all, no, I don't think it needs to start on time. But the Cactus League came out, I think, 2 days ago and said that they need to have it pushed back already. Like, the start of the Cactus League needs to be delayed because the COVID numbers there are through the roof. And and then you look at how everything came together last season with they did have like a fast kind of, put together spring training where they had, they did batting practice from the parks and things like that. And then they did those exhibition games within the squad. Yeah, you play the other half of the squad, then switch it up. the next couple of days. So they found a way to get over it. So obviously you see that there's things you can do in place of going to Arizona and having all of those, other issues. But Gino, I want to go back to what you just said, man. I feel like you hit the nail on top of the head when you said it's like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? I feel like right now they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth, because on one side you have them not signing Kyle Schwarber. They let John Lester go. And then we hear rumors that Chris Bryant, Wilson Contreras are still on the block. And then on the other side, I just read a tweet that David Kaplan said that Jed Hoyer got the green light to spend a little bit more bread.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned the name Chris Archer. And it's like, why would they bring Chris Archer over here if they're gutting their, I guess, players that they were building this team around? I mean, I feel like this looks more and more like a total rebuild. So I don't really believe, what the Cubs are saying publicly when they say, "Oh, we got more bread." Yeah, you spend it on Jock Peterson and a pitcher that, he didn't pitch last year because he opted out for COVID. It's like, okay, this looks like the arrow is still pointing down. And I think sooner or later, most of the fan base is going to be feeling exactly how you feel, Gino. Most of the fan base is going to say, damn, are we back to being a lovable losers? Am I down for that? Do I need to cheer for the White Sox now? So I'm just saying, I'm leaving. I know that last part is probably a stretch, but Cubs fans are going to have to be faced with some questions to see what their team is going to be doing over the next couple of seasons. I don't know how competitive they're going to be, because then I saw the Arenado rumor that Cardinals could be going after your boy,
right?
And if that happens, I feel like they'll be the clear favorite. So I don't know, that Jed Hoyer and those guys may be fake waving the white flag before the season even start, bro.
Well, it's interesting that you said that Tom Ricketts and them gave Jed Hoyer to go ahead to be able to spend a little more book, because everybody knows that they got it. So that's interesting, because, again, like we talked about, I don't think – well, it depends. It depends. If Wilson Contreras and Chris Bryant are not on the roster by the time the season starts, or they're off of the roster by the time the trade deadline comes around, then that's a sign that it's officially over for a group of, 2016 champions that feel like Kyle Hendricks and Jay Hay are probably the only main guys that'll be left over from that squad. And, if anyone knows which way this team is headed, then it would be those two guys, having been around in the glory days, and every year since then that has been basically, a failure. So you can look at those two guys, and, man, maybe we can hit Jay Hay up and have him come on one day next week, or just hit him up and get some info from him and see what his thoughts are on this whole thing. But, when you mention bringing in Jock Peterson, and then you think about him having some more bread, so you think about having maybe signing Chris Archer to kind of have a number 2 option. I mean, we do have Zach Davies. I forgot about Zach Davies. So, I think Kyle Hendricks, Zach Davies, we throwing Chris Archer in there just by default. But I think that's a formidable 1, 2, 3 to still have Alec Mills at your 4. And, maybe Aber Alzolay can make that jump, or, somebody else can make that jump, and you have a decent 5-man rotation. So it all depends on the core: Chris Bryant, Willie, Javi, all of those guys. See where they end up. And I think it's one of those things, T, where nobody's safe. I think everybody's resume is on the table, including Javier Baez. I mean, we know El Mago. We know what he means to the fan base, what he's done for this Cubs team in his years here. But, the fact that he had a down year last year, and I think that affected a little bit of his paper in the arbitration situation. This is a what have you done for me lately game. And you can only go off of last year. So only a guy like Anthony Rizzo is going to get the benefit of the doubt of having a down year last year, because if you look at his past, he's been the model of consistency, if you want to use that term, for the Cubs. But, you know, a guy like Chris Bryant, who I feel like, you know, everybody criticism is warranted. But I feel like Chris Bryant is a guy who's shown exactly who he is as a player, and I feel like he's been over-criticized, you know, for the last couple of years. True enough, he hasn't been fully healthy. He hasn't been the best Chris Bryant, but he is a former MVP. He is a former Rookie of the Year, and Chris Bryant is a top 20 Major League Baseball player when he's at his best. So I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder coming back, especially hearing all the trade rumors and things of that nature. So I'm interested, man. I'm going to be a Cubs fan forever. You know, they can do whatever they do business-wise. That's why we're media. That's why we're fans. That's why we're on one side of the ballpark, and Tom Ricketts and Todd and Pete and Laura.
See, now, you know, I feel like on one hand, and I feel like I can say this as a Sox fan, there is a part of me that likes that, you know, the Cubs are struggling like this or heading in the wrong direction while, you know, the MAGA ownership of the Cubs is kind of festering. It's like, yeah, this is what y'all get. Y'all thought it was sweet. I'm sure they was one of the ones that thought Donald Trump was going to be president for another 4 years. And if they end up selling the squad in the next, well, you know, I don't want to say the next year or two because I feel like that's crazy. But in the foreseeable future, I don't think it's too many people that'll be sad to see them leave Chicago. So
I hear you 100%.
If they want to, you know, save face and keep the reputation where it is, then I feel like they need to start caring more about the product on the field. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the political affiliation. You see, I never mentioned that because that's just something that is really nothing to say about that. We all know, you know, where those people are. Outside of Laura, we know she's, you know, we know her situation. But other than that, we know where the Rickies stand in their political affiliation. And I let that sail out of bounds. I don't even get into that because there's nothing to even talk about there. So, you know, if that plays into obviously it plays into who they are as people and owners of the team. But like you said, it's a slap in the face to the Cubs fans, the way that these guys have handled this team the last couple years, and especially this offseason. And I'm going to just and I feel you. As a Sox fan, I feel you, man. You know, seeing these guys, as you say, headed in the wrong direction. You know, I know it's when you're on the other side and you guys are headed in the right direction, you know, poised for.
Hopefully.
I mean, hey, if you look at the guys on paper, you guys, the Sox are definitely one of the favorites. They should win the AL Central next year and should make a deep playoff run.
I totally feel like some of the things you said about the Cubs can be said about the White Sox. You know what I mean? They the White Sox are fresh off putting a report. I think Bob Nightingale came out and said that the White Sox are strapped for cash because they spent $54 million on Liam Hendricks. And honestly, that just insults anybody's intelligence because was Hendricks' contract $54 million? Yes. But this year, are they spending $54 million on this man? No. They're probably spending around $8 or $9 million on this dude. You know what I mean? But instead, they want the narrative to be, oh, we spent $54 million. It's like, come on, y'all are acting like a small market team and one of the best markets in Chicago. And although I love the White Sox roster, you know what I mean? But if there's a starting pitcher to be had out there, if Trevor Bauer, you know, is still out there, then I don't understand why you're talking about how much money you don't have. It's like if you look at who wins World Series, the teams that spend the most bread have the best chance of winning the World Series. So if you're going to open your wallet, open that thing up. You know what I mean? Jerry Reinsdorf is the last dude that should be talking about how much money he doesn't have. Because if we have to take a deeper look into how much he's made over the last few years, I'm sure we wouldn't be surprised to see that he's been cashing out. You know what I mean? So all respects to what's been going on with the pandemic and how it's affected sports. I give Jay Reinsdorf credit because you haven't seen the White Sox do a super mass firing. And I've heard that he's come out of pocket to pay some of the staff. And if you look over the last couple of years, the White Sox have spent some bread. let's not get caught up in that cheap talk now, right now though. So,
hey,
you know,
let's take our 2 o'clock break, man. When we come back on the other side.
Before I go crazy, right?
No, I want you to continue to go crazy. I want to continue talking baseball. I want to continue talking White Sox. You talked about, getting some more starting pitching. I want to talk about the rest of the starting pitching, but I still think you guys need to make a right field acquisition. But we'll get into that on the other side of the break, man. We come back. We still talking baseball, man. I'm Eugene. I got my player partner T. We got Ron Rilla holding us down behind the boards.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back. Break.
WIFTV PM.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm
yeah.
your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Key.
TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one.
Got a couple of them. Got a couple of them.
Two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh, Lord. He's did it before. Oh, Lord.
I got one. Something better. I got 5 reasons.
5 reasons. Oh, Lord. He turned it around.
Turn it around. He woke me up this morning.
Oh. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Go
number
ahead.
4?
He woke me up this morning.
Come on, number 3. Come.
He woke me up.
Oh, Lord.
He woke you up.
That thing can touch you, but one of them 5s will get you. What's the second one?
He woke me up this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And the number 1 reason.
Number 1. Final answer.
He woke me up this morning.
He woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a testimony.
Basically, I was raised in these mazes, named the streets for players of reputations. Faithfully make G's with more cake pastries than bakeries. Deal with equations ranging from A to Z. Touch more bricks than masons, serving like maitre d's. Pitching like we in the major leagues. Occasionally blazing bees, seeking that painful peace amongst a parade of fiends afraid to sleep. Dazed in the range, losing days of Z's. That's why my old girl prayed for me every day, cause I'm faded like tapers at the table. G, I can't take it, I can't wait to escape and leave, cause this basement is no place to stay for me. But I believe I'm the creator, I create the scenes that can't be seen just by the way I think and breathe. There's a time and a place in this game of life when you gotta decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is never change your life, just change your life. There comes a time and a place in this game of life when you gotta decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is never change your life, just change your life. In high school, she was average, mostly C's and D's. Same shit, now she high too, mostly off C and D. Now I hide my loot, clothes, CDs, and DVDs. Easily these things could leave, cause she a sneaky thief, trust me. Always fussing, starting shit, I hear her. Arguments with the mirror regarding her appearance, her health. Declines thusly, first her mind, then abruptly she finds herself mumbling all the time to herself. Trying to find herself by dealers that sell. Insecure, still in a shell, killing herself. And as long as she been blowing, it never seems to soak in. When she has convulsion, shivering like she cold. And my cousins ask me where they moms be. I'ma tell her my auntie on the concrete, walking dead like zombies. There comes a time and a place in this game of life when you gotta decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is never change your life, just change your life. There comes a time and a place in this game of life when you gotta decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is never change your life, just change your life. I've been debating on rearranging my life. I'm at a different stage of the game in my life. This is why I listen when I'm praying at night for answers to the questions that I'm stressing to fight. Lord knows the fortune is a goal, but I'm not forcing my soul to be sold between the forks in the road in order to blow. What can I leave beside my corpse when I'm gone, and my CDs with assortments of songs. The course I chose to school me was these cruel streets, and it used to fool me till I learned how to do me. Take a look, see at how the hood eat, misunderstood by crooks, thieves, good green, and cooks see. I'm gonna tell you how it should be. The great leaders empower the people so they can see through the powers that be. But instead they carry on like cowards to me, abuse their power to speak while these streets devour the weak. I was told that the soul creates and the mind reacts. I chose my fate, ain't no rewinding me back. Every day's a gift from God, that's why it's called a present. If you believe, you receive and see all the blessings.
There comes a time and a place in this game of life where you gotta decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is if you want to change your life, just change your life. Hey, man.
It's as simple as that.
Simple as that, Ron Rilla, man. There comes a time and a place in this game of life where you got to decide your fate or pay the price. Let the voice inside you guide you. My main advice is if you want to change your life,
change your life, dog.
just change your life. Hey, man, more gems from my boy ML, man. I'm telling you, man, I was going to wait to tell Mick. I mean, I spent many years with Mick in the studio every night at his crib, at my crib, on the road, doing shows, you know, just building over the years. And I never told Mick, only recently, man, like when the pandemic set in and you had time to sit back, sit around, think, do you. Only recently did I realize how inspiring and how much Mick's lyrics meant to me and how much they inspired my life, man. So
give people they roses.
Man, I talked to Mick a couple days ago and I felt like telling them then, but I'm going to show him better than I can tell him, man. Y'all will see what I got going in the next couple weeks or so. But, man, just another gem from Mick, man. I play we play these songs on What's in It for the Black People Media because they're dope songs, but there's all, you know, I'm a guy who, you know, I came up in the 80s and 90s, and it was a message in the music when we came up. I came up in the Black Power era, Public Enemy, KRS-One, Brand Nubian, all of those guys who was kicking the 5% bars and kicking the knowledge is power bars. So I'm trying to bring that back. And Mick did it with some flavor, man. So here to born that knowledge to the people on the soil with the brothers. And, yeah, that was just another gem. Change your life from Mick Luda, man. If you want the song, man, Ron Rilla can send it to you. I can send it to you.
Just hit the email.
Hit the email, and we got y'all, man. But, yeah, shout out to Mick. And that's what it is, man. T was cracking over there, brother.
Man, I feel like I'm ready to share what we got for the people with the audience, man. And I of course, I'm always, you know, I'm ready to push the button when you say, but I feel like it's looking, you know, it's looking pretty crispy on you right now. It's only right we go ahead and push the button, bro.
Man, go ahead, George, push the button over there, man, on the website, man. If y'all see your boy, I got the official T. What's this one called? The last one we dropped was the OG Big Scully. What's this one, man?
This is the heavy duty Scully, man. You know we had to come real for the thick of the wintertime, man. This is going to keep you protected from the hawk and also let the city know who you rocking with, man. You guys see that Crispy the Bigs logo on Gino Scully right there, man. I can see it from my remote location, man. We want y'all to go ahead and get involved and support the Bigs, man. This is, you know what, this is an On the Soil exclusive. This is the first place we're dropping this because we want y'all to have first dibs on this one for the way that y'all have held us down for the last 4 or 5 months. So without further ado, the link is in the comments to support the Bigs, man. And if you visit the Bigs website, thebigs.us/merch, you can go ahead and grab your Scully and get busy and support the Bigs, man. The squad definitely on our end thanks you for your support over the last few months. Go ahead and cop a Scully and let the people know what's good.
No doubt, man. And shout out to everybody who rocked with the Bigs on the last Scully drop, man. Those joints sold out in less than 24 hours. So we decided that it was only right for our On the Soil family members to get first dibs before these go like hotcakes, because that's definitely what's going to happen, man. Jason Hayward just texted me, and he said, thank you, bro. He appreciates the Scullys. We had to ship his Scullys out to his crib in Arizona. He said he got them, and he's rocking his joints right now. So shout out to Jay Hay for being one of the Bigs official supporters.
I definitely want one of them hats, man. I need one.
Ron Rilla in the
building. Order mine right now.
Man, you look at that.
Yes, sir,
That's
Ron.
one down. That's one down, man. I'm pretty sure it's a couple orders coming through right now. But, Yeah, man, this is heavy duty, man. This is man, it's hot as hell in here right now, but this thing is official. I swear it is, but man, hey, look, man, I'm holding it down, T. This thing is official. The embroidery is official. The material is official. And yeah, just another notch for the bigs, man. We said that it was only right for us to drop this on the soil with our On the Soil family members, because y'all have definitely been holding us down since we've been part of the What's in It for the Black People media family. So it was only right that we did the right thing and dropped them for y'all first. So go ahead, hit the link. T just dropped the link in the comments. I'm going to drop another link in the comments in a few minutes for those who might not be on the soil with us right now. Tell a friend and tell a friend and share the link, man, because it's definitely going to be another sold out piece of merch in the next 24 hours. So salute to everybody out there. But T, man, let's continue the conversation, brother. You were talking about the White Sox adding some pitching depth, and I think I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about shoring up, the defense with, you guys still, I feel like, need a right fielder, an everyday right fielder. I feel like Adam Engel is cool, but yeah, it's time to shore up right field with an everyday right fielder. But I'm thinking about Michael Kopech and what's the other guy who hasn't shown up?
You're talking about the cat we got from the Cubs, Dylan Cease?
Dylan Cease. Michael Kopech and Dylan Cease, man. Those are two guys who, if they pan out to be the guys who they were expected to be, will definitely be some of the top pitchers in the major leagues in the coming years. But as of now, they still got work to do. They still got to show and prove, and I think that's another area where if you're looking to be a championship contender, you definitely got to show up, that bottom half of the pitching staff. So I'm with you, man. I'm looking for Jerry Reinsdorf to spend a few more dollars and take this thing to the top, because looking at the lineup 1 through 7, there's no doubt that that the Sox 1 through 7 are at the top of the league. And I think 8 and 9, they could be, you can mix and match right there. But I feel like also, shoring up that back end of the starting rotation is a must. So what do you think? Getting those two pitches is more important than shoring up the defense, or what?
You know what? You can never have too much pitching. And although I completely agree with you as far as right field goes, that was a big issue last season. And the only thing they did to address it in the offseason was sign Adam Eaton, which was kind of questionable, a cat that's been on the South Side before and had his own issues. But it's no denying the fact that he's a reliable cat at the plate. He's going to bat around 280 to 300, and he's going to give you average defense. Now, I'm an Adam Engel fan. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're seesawing with Adam Engel and Adam Eaton in right field, then you're not terrible. But if you can go and get somebody better, then you almost have to do it.
Agreed.
I'm looking at that pitching staff because I know it was the thorn in the side and basically what eventually got them sent home last year. You know what I mean? After basically the first two arms in the rotation, they were trying to pull, a rabbit out of a hat. And they've done a decent job, like you said. Kopech, who I'm a big fan of, I've had the opportunity to talk to him a couple of times over the last year, and everything that he shared with me, makes me confident in the fact that he's going to be ready as hell when the season starts. I know a lot of fans question the man's mental and and all of that because he has gone through a divorce. He opted out because of COVID. So I understand, but my message to the fans is when this dude steps in between that chalk, he's going to be 100% ready to go. Now, where I feel like, the White Sox are going to have to show and improve is on offense. I feel like the offense got a lot of credit for being able to explode and have explosive moments, but they have to find a way to, to find some more consistency on offense.
True.
I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, okay, it's January 29th. Is it over? You know what I mean? Is the offseason over? Are the White Sox done making moves? On January 29th, I would say no. But who knows with Jay Reinsdorf? And I wouldn't argue with anybody that says that the White Sox are probably going to tell people, this is who we're trotting out for the season, not go win a World Series.
Oh, man, I agree with you, man. I think you can never have enough pitching. We know pitching and defense supposedly wins championships, but man,
Yes, sir.
Jerry, go on, spend that bread, man. You hired Tony. You didn't hire Tony La Russa to win 3 or 4 years from now. You hired Tony La Russa to win right now. You brought in the guy from Oakland, the closer from Oakland, to win right now. So, yeah, do whatever you got to do. Like you said, spend that money. You saw how the Yankees did it with Jeter and A-Rod and all those guys back in the early 2000s. You saw how the Red Sox did it. The blueprint is there. It's all about manning up and getting this job done, because even this past season, man, I feel like the Sox definitely could have made a deeper run. They definitely should have beat the Oakland A's in that first round of the playoffs. And
it ended up being a disappointing end to a fun season.
The last couple weeks of the season leading up into the playoffs, I have to agree with you, man. It was definitely, a disappointing way to end. But I feel like that may be the reason why they're hiring a guy like Tony La Russa to kind of bring that old school feel. Because I felt like the discipline, and I'm not necessarily saying like, Tim Anderson with the bat flips and, that type of thing. But I feel like inside the clubhouse, or there may just have been it looked like there was just a lack of focus coming down the stretch. And, it was a lot going on that season, 60 games, the pandemic, all those extra things that were going on. But at the end of the day, everybody was faced with the same adversity. And, the last 2 weeks, especially that series against the Cubs where they gave up like 14 runs and they were making like 5 or 6 errors a game, that wasn't the way that you want to end your season, especially going into the playoffs. So I'm looking for those guys to come back with some renewed energy, a renewed focus, and coming out strong from the jump. So when you get ahead early, there are gonna be some bumps in the road along the season.
Yeah.
But when you start out early and you get a big lead in the division, then there's some leeway to have those things. You don't necessarily have to look back towards the end of the season and you're ahead a half a game or a game when you should really be ahead 5 or 6 games, and you can kind of not cruise into the playoffs. But if a couple guys need a breather or need a break to kind of get as healthy as they're gonna be, because we know towards the end of the season nobody's completely healthy. But hey, man,
exactly,
it's that time for the White Sox, bro.
No, you know what? I definitely feel like it's that time for the White Sox. I seen. Yeah, I don't want to, stress too hard over what they need, right now, because I honestly feel like as is, these dudes are a serious contender to win it all. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I feel like these guys have the right mindset and finally have an idea of what it takes. You know what I mean? I love what I saw in the playoffs. Some guys like Tim Anderson, Lucas Giolito. I mean, like I feel like the Southside fans got to feel like they got some true warriors.
Yeah.
On deck, some true dogs, as we said, when it comes to the NBA.
True dogs.
But they're still so young that you have to find room to be patient with these guys. You know what I mean? And yes, it's a win now situation. I'm not saying it's not a win now situation, but you still have to find some kind of way to be patient with guys like Eloy and Luis Robert,
True.
Yohan Moncada, who had a down year last year. A big reason for it was COVID, but he does have to come back and show that he is that MVP caliber player that they traded Chris Sale for. So I'm looking forward to the White Sox, sticking to their guns, man. Like a couple of years ago, I had an epic debate with our guy, SD2 Mics, and the result of it was, look, fans got to understand that this organization is betting on their prospects.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the case again going in to 2021. They're betting on the fact that Luis Robert is going to take another leap forward. So is Eloy. They're betting on the fact that Tim Anderson is one of the best hitters in the league, and that Lucas Giolito has turned himself into a top of the rotation kind of guy. And again, they're betting on the fact that Yoel Moncada had a down year but can return to form. So if all of that happens, and you consider the additions that they made in free agency, come on, Joe. I'm low key. I'm waiting to get off the soil so I can order me a Tim Anderson jersey after this conversation. Low key. I don't even really do jerseys, but I may have to cop that number 7 and hold it down for my man Tim Anderson.
So how do you feel about the loss of James McCann? We know that was Lucas Giolito's catcher. So I'm not really we know about the money they gave Yasmani Grandal. I'm not really a huge fan of his defensively, man. He had a lot of defensive lapses last year where plays at the plate he was missing the throw home, and he's not that good of a framer behind the plate. He does a lot of, in baseball terms, boxing instead of framing. And I wonder what you think about the loss of James McCann, and will Lucas Giolito still have that same output with Yasmani Grandal behind the plate?
You know what? If he's the ace that they want him to be, then he's gonna have to. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to find that magic that he had with James McCann with Yasmani Grandal. And honestly, I'm not super worried that that's gonna be an issue. And yes, we did see that it looked like he was more comfortable with James McCann than Yasmani Grandal. I don't think anybody that watched those 60 games could argue with that. Go ahead.
But look, don't forget that the Cubs also traded Victor Caratini with Yu Darvish. So
so understanding the importance of having your guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Man, you went, and I feel you. I also want to kind of give, Yasmani the respect he deserves. He is one of the top catchers in the league offensively, and I feel like although he does have those issues with framing, low-key, he had issues catching the ball last year. I mean, he had issues catching the ball. So I understand the reservations and understand that it's fair. Lucas Giolito looks like a guy that's not going to let that be a problem, though. And tell me, of course, tell me if I'm tripping. Am I just being a Southside fan and I'm breezing past something that may be a serious issue down the line? But if I'm looking at it correctly, Lucas Giolito had to see this move coming. I mean, it was rumored for half the season last year that James McCann was going to get his bag. So I'm sure him and Yasmani Grandal's relationship has to be at the top of his list of things to make sure, that are on point by the time he gets back on the mound next season.
No, I understand that, and I'm with you. I think if Lucas Giolito is supposed to be this ace and one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball, then that's something that, true enough, it is, we've talked to catchers. We've seen the history of MLB and how much catchers like Greg Maddux and those guys had their catchers who were instrumental in, what they did in their career. So I do think that, you can't overlook the fact that some of those, they're just some pitchers who work better with their guy. But I also think that you have to be able to adjust and be able to throw to the guy who's assigned to you. And I don't think in Yu Darvish's case with Victor Caratini, I feel like that may have been another special case, especially with, him being Japanese and the language barrier, and not saying that because Victor Caratini speaks Spanish, so it's not like Victor Caratini was, or who knows, Vic may have learned Japanese. We never know. But
exactly.
I feel like Yu Darvish, there was a reason why Victor Caratini was part of that trade with you to San Diego. So, but I do agree. I feel like Giolito will be able to adapt to, Yasmani Grandal back there and be able to pick up the same type of output he had last year. But before we wrap up the baseball convo, did you see that Major League Baseball hired Ken Griffey Jr. to join as a senior advisor today?
Absolutely, bro. I'm so happy you brought that up because that was a pleasant surprise. And it's been a wild news cycle to start the year, man. We lost a few legends. Hank Aaron.
Oh
We had the
man.
anniversary of Kobe's death.
Oh man.
Uh,
But let me
losing
stop.
Cicely Tyson yesterday.
Let me stop you right there before we talk about Ken Griffey Jr. You talk about losing legends. R.I.P. to the great Cicely Tyson. But I just got word. Sepia DM me on Twitter, and the Athletic just reported that longtime Temple head coach and Hall of Famer John Chaney has died at the age of 89.
Wow, bro.
The great John Chaney, man. Again, and you know I gotta give props to my mama, the GOAT, man, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have the extreme sports knowledge, and I wouldn't be the extreme sports fan that I am. But I remember coming up in the 80s. I always thought John Thompson, the great John Thompson, I always thought Georgetown and Temple were black universities. I thought those were historically black colleges just because of John Thompson and John Chaney. I'll never forget the infamous argument with, was it John Calipari or was it Rick Pitino? It was one of those guys, and John Chaney said, "Man, I'll kill you." You know, and he was just,
I think it was Pitino.
I think it was Rick Pitino as well. And you know, just looking back to that, man, thinking about, you know, all of the things that John Chaney was able to achieve as the head coach of Temple. I think he was there for he had to be there at least 25 years. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a winning record. Probably, maybe they only had one losing record, if I can remember. And if I'm looking, let me look at the stats. I think, yes, it says Chaney coached at Temple for 24 years, leading the Owls to 23 winning seasons. So I was one off. He had 17 NCAA tournament appearances and 5 Elite Eights, man. And this is a guy who, like I said, man, I thought Temple was a historically black college. Just looking back, he was a guy who made sure that his guys would not be taken advantage of. He would take his guys off the court similar to the way John Thompson would do his players. If, you know, he saw fans in the stands holding up bogus signs or, you know, anything that he thought was a negative effect on his players and them, you know, having their best foot forward on the court. But then also, you know, being like a father figure to those guys, being an extension, because you know about us being raised. A lot of us don't have fathers in the house, and a lot of guys look to the streets and look to other avenues for that father figure. So being able to, we saw Allen Iverson, you know, classic point. A guy like AI who said John Thompson, John Thompson basically rescued him. And if it wasn't for John Thompson, then there would be no AI that we know. So I feel like John Chaney, if you talk to a guy like Aaron McKee or a guy like Eddie Jones who were Temple Owls, I'm pretty sure you get that same frame of mind that AI had for John Thompson that they had for John Chaney. So just sad news to hear, man. Another great Hall of Fame basketball coach, but an even better guy gone at 89. But you know the saying, man, legends never die, bro.
No, they definitely never die. And real talk is unbelievable. And, you know, it's been, like I said, a wild start to the year. And I feel like basketball coaches from that era, man, I meant a little more. You know what I mean? A guy like John Chaney, like you said, yes, he was a coach, but even from afar, him and John Thompson, and I don't want to leave. Those are just two examples, man. But they were, like you said, they were father figures to the players, man. And I don't know if that's the case with a lot of coaches these days. But man, definitely RIP to another legend that's gone.
Yeah, man. RIP to the great John Thompson, man. Let's take our last break. On the other side, man, we can come back and we can finish talking Ken Griffey Jr. But man, I'm gonna throw something at you, man. I know we gotta talk Bulls. We gotta do a little Bulls segment, but I'm gonna throw something at you, man. We gonna come off the dome with something, and You know, we're going to talk
Yes,
NBA.
sir.
We're a quarter through the season tomorrow, a quarter through the 72-game season. So I'm going to throw something at you on the other side of the break. So I'm I'm Gene. We got my player partner, T. Hey, man. Whew.
Yes, sir. Hey,
John
grab your
Thompson
Scullies.
news. Yeah, man, the John Thompson and John Chaney, man. That hit home, man. But, yeah, grab the Scullies, man. Hit the merch. Get to the website. Get your Scully before we sell out. When we come back on the other side, we got more sports talk for y'all. You're on the soil with the bigs.
WIFTBPM.
What's up, good people?
Y'all go accept my request on the page. So
Why?
I can do the
Why would we do that? Why would we do that?
I'm trying to do the survey.
Why would we let you in? Why would we let you on the? You talking about the Iswiz book club page? No, why would
Nah, we're gonna let you in, Ron. You need to read. I'm with that. I'm definitely put you on.
Somebody please let Ron in the Iswiz. Is it? I thought it was a public page.
I don't know. I don't run it. I
don't know who run it. You got to talk to Shannon and Robin and
You say what? Y'all group private like it's something special or something.
First of all, it is something special.
ass.
Okay,
There's something special. Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
And you gonna talk it again? Don't get no punishment again now.
Right? They already came in there like, look at her being nice to Ron today. It wasn't gonna last.
He always messes.
I think Asia came in like, for now, like just for a little while.
Just for a little while.
Just for a little while. Just for a little while. Somebody let that man in the page. Somebody let that man in the page, Robin. Please let him in. I said what I said. Herb and 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks.
Day one. Yes, I like how that sound right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of inspirational. It's like everybody got a goal. They're trying to reach or alive. They're trying to live, man. Be bumps in the road. You gotta keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? If it don't kill you, it make you strong. You know what I'm saying? My story right here. Yeah. It takes a special kind of mind to grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in. That's the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best. My whole life invested in holding mics and sketching rhymes. You guessed it. I'm on mine, still restless. Yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime. As many battles I blew breath in and open mics I blessed. I'll never be labeled an overnight success. Passing out CDs, doing shows for free, then dabbing both to eat so that my soul could speak over these soulful beats that's so cold to me. Like the breeze in the shower, we be posted deep. All the prices that I paid, the sacrifices I made, it'll all come to life one day, someday. Wait and see, someday. We'll make it from me, wait and see, someday. Just be patient, man. Bumps the road ain't nothing. Rotate, doesn't stop, no. Check it out, look, I remember it like yesterday, trying to get my record played at a radio station where they play hits for days, having a conversation with this lady I'm facing while she making a statement made for me. She said, look, it's too many words in your hook, you need to work on your look. For what it's worth, I never took her words personal, but at first I wasn't certain though if she knew my words are personal and not just verses and books. Until the curtain closes, this is my version of what I know, learning in first person till I blow, and still I know how it feels to know I'm the deal. Did you still feel like a deal is just right, or a deal just might still add to my appeal? But they won't know I'm real till I touch my first million, right? I'ma chill till my bars is felt and play my hand with the cards I'm dealt, and that's the plan till it's solved itself. Someday, we'll make it from me, yeah, everything you want in this world is yours. All you gotta do is claim it, man. Be patient, work hard, man. Don't make it. Don't trip on. Yo, it's damn near impossible to shop music. without lots of loot to maneuver and make moves with. So I stay in tune with my pursuit. Fuck trying to recoup, I'm trying to juke and move units. The truth is, I'm used to excuses. Dudes give like you can. Do what I do, food and prove it. Walk in my shoes then. I'm used to goofy producers and cools that try to misuse you quick. Why you got it confused? If you think it's about groupie chicks and interviews in the mix, it ain't got ghouly, but I truly got the tools to overcome obstacles, including this music biz. I'ma shine like jewels, unlike these Rubik's cubic dudes with all this woo-woo and they spit. Make Luda is the future, so get used to this. It's a new beginning. Shout out to the great ML, man. Someday we gonna make it, man. One of these days we gonna make it. Shout out to that dope Donny Hathaway sample, man. My boy 1120 who produced the track chopped that sample up perfectly, and that's one of the most requested Mick Luda songs in my hard drive.
That
man.
might be my favorite one.
Your favorite one? I see Big Bro on the line. Brandon Terrence, big brother Brandon said that's his favorite one. My mama, that's definitely her favorite song. She been somedayed out for. The song is at least 12 years old.
And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that unless you told us, you know?
Man, bro. So shout out to the great ML, man. I'm a keep on burning this ML into people's ears as long as I can, man. But T.
Absolutely. Yo, and shout out to Tiger Lily, man. Of course, that's family. That's what's in it for the Black people family. Okay, but she was the first to grab her the big Scully. She grabbed two of them. I'm hugging you from my remote location. Thank you so much, Tiger, for always showing us love.
Always. Shout out to the family member, Tiger Lily, man. One of the guys, 71T, did you see his tweet? He said, the website ain't letting me check out, G.
I didn't. Let me see.
Yeah, he sent
Let me
it
peep real quick.
Yeah, but it's all good. You got to keep on pushing. If Tiger copped and a couple other people copped in 7-1, 7 just ain't doing it right. So he got to keep on pushing, hitting that button. But man, I forgot to drop the rules for the people, man. I feel like the people know the rules anyway.
But it's never too late, right?
It's never too late, man. I got to drop the rules for the people for the last 30 minutes of the show, man. When you rocking on the soil with the bigs, but not just on the soil with the brothers, man. Whether it's the Maze Jackson show, whether it's the Book of Dawn, whether it's I Said What I Said with Two and Herb, whether it's Week Ho Wednesday with Reese and Toy, whether it's with Sadiq and what's my girl from Chicago State? I'm bogus. I can't think of her name right now. From the Black Mall. Cassie, that's my girl, Cassie, man. We go way back. Whatever show you rocking with on the What's in It for the Black People Media Network, man. We need y'all to smash that like button, smash that share button, hit the comments like y'all always do. Continue to join the conversation. Continue to help us push our content forward and help us continue to push the culture forward, man. It's all about owning this Black voice. It's all about the Black content, and ownership is key, man. Ownership is key. It's cool to represent, on ESPN or on 670 or on one of those great outlets. But it's even better to own your own network and provide the people with the much needed Black voice, man. Ownership is key, and that's what we own over here. What's in it for the Black People Media Network, man. Shout out to Maze Jackson again. Happy 50th birthday, my brother. We appreciate everything you do over here, man. And turn up for number 50, man. I know you somewhere probably in your zone right now. I know you had the Chronic Chef pack this morning. I saw you slowly but surely fading out. So I hope you getting some rest, man, and ready to do it up later on today, man. T, if you could have seen and heard this guy this morning, it's like, man, you got to slow down, bro. You got to slow down, man.
Hey, is 50 that age when you realize you got to slow down officially? I don't know. May's going to have to give us insight on 50, Joe.
Yeah, man. I ain't nowhere near 50, so he definitely going to have to. But these days, they fly by, man. So, as long as you keep yourself on point, stay on your dean, and live right, you're going to be all right. But, man, I forgot, man. I ain't got my jewels on today, but, I'm repping for the Black nationalists. I'm repping for the Rastafarians, and I'm repping for the Garveyites, man. Shout out to the great brothers, man, the great Black men, Brother Malcolm, my main man was Marcus Messiah,
and the great Haile Selassie, man. You know I rock the jewels up under the sweater. I forgot to throw them on today, but I'm always feeling godly, man. I'm always feeling godly, T.
Yes, sir. No, I feel you, bro.
But let's get back to it, man. Ken Griffey Jr. joins the MLB as a senior advisor. He will consult on baseball operations, youth development, and improving diversity at amateur levels. And personally, man, I feel like Ken Griffey Jr. is the perfect guy for this. He's got the personality and a broad appeal to have a serious effect on those things. We know that baseball is lacking in diversity, and you know, especially at the amateur level, man, having equal opportunity coming up at the amateur level. I always talked about the Cubs and Jason McLeod with Chicago. You know how they do. If you're not familiar with the way that they scout baseball players, man, it's you know, players from the South, they get a leg up on players from the North, but just because of the weather. And when you down South, I'm telling you, it was such an eye-opening experience when I went down to play baseball at Southern University. It was crazy, man, to see the way that these guys played, and you know, it was just a total difference just because of the way, you know, they're able to play year round because the weather is always good. So, you know, they get scouted different than players from up north. They get more of a, you know, they have more leeway down there. But then when you think about, you know, kids coming from the Dominican Republic and kids coming from Cuba and all of those different places, you know, they're set up when they come, when they're taken from over there, when they're, if whatever you want to call it, drafted, or, you know, however they get from over there to over here, they're set up with these academies that, you know, are placed in Florida, and they're placed in Texas, and they're placed in Arizona and California, and all these places that are right off the water. You know, they come in and they have these academies and they set them up in a position to succeed immediately. And a lot of those guys, you know, they're coming from the slums. So they don't want to go back over there. You know, they get a little bit of money. These scouts and these, I call them money monsters. You know, they get these kids, they get their parents a few dollars, they get them a few dollars, and then they basically take advantage of these guys, you know, but they're set up to succeed baseball-wise, and they're given everything versus a kid that goes to Simeon or Harlan or one of these inner-city schools who's just as good as one of those kids who plays at Barrington or New Trier or Loyola, but they, first of all, they don't have the look. You know, they don't have the network, and they're playing in the slums. And those scouts ain't coming to the slums. I could tell you, when I played at Mount Carmel, I could tell you the amount of scouts that would come when we played out in Barrington, or we played out at New Trier, or when we played out at Lockport, versus when we played Morgan Park, or we played Harlan, or we played Simeon or Clemente, or one of those type of schools. So I could go on and on and on about that, but it's just good to see a guy like Ken Griffey Jr. We know what he's meant to Major League Baseball, what he meant to us, especially me. Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite baseball player of all time. I wanted to be Junior growing up. I wore my hat backwards in the outfield when I was up to bat. All those things Griffey Jr. did, you know, I wanted to do, and I wanted to implement them in my game. But I just feel like, you know, with the appeal and the personality, and we know about the great smile that he had when he played, I feel like he's the perfect guy to kind of affect change in Major League Baseball going forward. And
you know,
do you think that was Theo Epstein, or do you think that was Rob Manfred and his crew?
You know what? First, you know, as far as Ken Griffey goes, I think that he was just as impactful on my generation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely the first player, you know, the first player I think about when not only center field, but black baseball players of my time. Ken Griffey Jr. is at the top of the list, man. And here, you know, for so long, it felt like baseball didn't have anybody on the inside that knew anything about black baseball history, black baseball players, youth black baseball players. It just was a huge gap and a disconnect between what MLB was doing and what they needed to do. And the fact that Ken Griffey is the one to kind of bridge that gap, I don't think you can find anybody more perfect to carry out that mission. If you go back and look at Ken Griffey Jr. Interviews. Anytime he really had a chance to talk about his influence in the game, of course it started with his father.
Right.
But after that, it was all about Willie Mays, Hank Aaron,
Yep.
Jackie Robinson, Eric Davis. You know what I mean? Just he made it a point of his to always let it be known, hey, I'm inspired by black baseball players, and not just some black baseball players, all of them. So the fact that he's tasked with the mission to basically bring baseball up to speed and repair their relationship with black youth and black baseball players in general, I feel like that's a beautiful thing. And to answer your question, G, you know this was Theo. Okay, this was Theo's first line of business. It's absolutely no way that Rob Manfred came up with this in his mind. It's just an impossibility. This is all the way Theo Epstein already showing you that it's a new sheriff in town. You know, I'm welcome. Come on, Theo, let's get busy. I love it.
No, shout out to Major League Baseball for taking another step in the right direction, man. Getting our boy Junior as a senior advisor.
A layup, low key.
Yeah,
it
was a layup
when you think about it.
It's a bunny. It's a bunny, man. I'm excited to see how much leverage they give Junior, and I want to see him on the tube more. I want to hear his voice more. I want to see his face more, and I want them to really take the chains off and let him go for Delph out here, because I think that's a perfect movement for MLB. But man, let's move to some basketball, man. Before we take it to the NBA, before I run this number on you real quick, did we talk about Candace Parker coming to the Chicago Sky the other day?
We touched on it at the end of the show. It was just a rumor the last time we were on the soil, but it's official right now, you know?
It is official that Candace Parker is headed to the Chicago Sky as an unrestricted free agent, man. With the deal, I don't think the deal can be made official until next week when the teams are allowed to sign free agents. But the ink is dry. Well, it ain't dry yet, but it is. This is unofficial but official news. Candace Parker, two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year last year, WNBA Finals MVP in the 2016 WNBA Championship. Candace Parker is headed to the crib, Joe. Played 13 years in L.A. It's time to finish it on out at the crib. And like we said, man, I feel like with Diamond D looking to come back to have an MVP season, she missed a lot of time last year, I think, due to a knee injury. I know she's looking to have a spectacular comeback season. And like we said, with Allie Quigley and Courtney Vandersloot, man, in the backcourt, the addition of Candace Parker, man, makes the Chicago Sky favorites to contend for the WNBA championship, man. I noticed she's on the other side of her career, but I still think she adds a huge upside. She adds a veteran presence, someone who's been there and done that plenty of times. She's a Tennessee Volunteer, Lady Vol, so she's from the school of Pat Summitt, the great Pat Summitt. And man, Miss Parker, Joe, we losing one Miss Parker and Cheyenne Parker. I think she's gonna sign with the Atlanta Dream, but we bringing in another Miss Parker in the great Candace Parker. You know my hashtag. I call her the real CP3.
That's real. I love that hashtag, low key. Yo, speaking of, we touched on top free agent signings in Chicago history. I feel like Candace Parker instantly goes on that list.
All day.
I mean, you look at what the Sky have been on the last couple of seasons, and you add Candace Parker to the mix. I've seen the word championship be mentioned with the Chicago Sky. You know, a lot of people are throwing them in that conversation. And if the Sky can bring home a championship, you know, especially before the Bulls can, I feel like that's going to be something huge. I feel like Candace Parker is the chosen one. Yeah, if it was, you know, if these arenas were able to have fans, Chicago Sky games just might be busting with Candace Parker.
Oh, they going up
in there to hold it down.
Oh, they going up. I done seen all types of Facebook posts about, man, get my season tickets now. You know, my mama is the ultimate WNBA fan, so she's ready to get her season tickets when they when they allow the fans back in. So I agree with you, man. If Candace Parker can help bring a championship to the Chicago Sky, then I think the Sky are definitely one of those Chicago sports teams that are on the outside looking in, but I feel like bringing the championship to the Sky would definitely put them in the mix of Chicago sports. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I love Candace Parker, and she's gonna definitely make us that much of much more of a contender, man. So shout out to her.
And honestly, this is I love it because this is I know you don't need no reminder, but this is the mecca of basketball. You feel me?
Yeah.
Candace Parker didn't pull the rug up from under Chicago the way some of the other big name free agents have over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Once it was out here, the next thing you heard was that she was locking it in and coming to Chicago. And I love what she said. As far as her exit situation was with LA, she was like, man, it was a tough decision to leave, everything that she built with the Sparks. But at this point in her career, and considering, everything that the Sky have been on recently, she feels it's the perfect place for her. And with that said, I'm like, come on, let's go. Candace Parker is back at the crib. I love it. I can't wait to check out these Sky games. And I can't wait till they put her on the game. For anybody with 2K, the Sky are decent on 2K. So I'm looking forward to hopping on the sticks with them as well.
Man, I'm gonna have to get down, man. I haven't touched down with the WNBA side of 2K yet, so I got that.
Yo, it's underrated. I low key mess with it.
Okay, I'm getting down, man. I'm messing with the 5, man. I'm happy I was able to get a chance to touch down with the 5. But man, speaking of Candace Parker, man, I never forget. My mother was so charged to see. We drove to Notre Dame, bro. Candace Parker's junior year at Tennessee. We drove to Notre Dame to watch them put on an exhibition and beat the brakes off of Notre Dame. But yeah, it was a cool experience driving to Notre Dame to watch women's college basketball. So shout out to my mama for making that happen. And it was a fun trip, man. And that was the beginning of, we know Candace is from Naperville. We know her high school career, but being a Pat Summitt disciple and being able to see Pat Summitt in person and watch how she demanded the best from those ladies, man, it was something else. So shout out to the real CP3, sir. Man. I see a lot of Deshaun Watson talk, man. I know we could talk about Deshaun Watson, but, Chicago sports, well, I feel like we know Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston. I know they just signed Lovie Smith to be the defensive coordinator. They hired Buddy, who was the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. It's like that's an easy exit for Deshaun Watson. So for everybody that's still holding out hope for Deshaun Watson to come to Chicago, y'all are better than me, man. So keep on wishing and just pull up the Kevin Garnett gift. Anything is possible.
Gino, they asked the man Adam Schefter on TV yesterday. They said are the Bears a serious contender, and he said over and over again, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, and I feel like that's going to pick up steam over the next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds, bro.
I rock with Adam Schefter. He's definitely a viable source, and he usually speaks the truth. But until I see Deshaun Watson put that ink on the paper, man, I'm not going. So with that being said, man, I want to get into the NBA real quick, man. We're a quarter through the season, and before we get up out of here, man, I know we got our boy Cousin 2, 1/3 of the kickoff kickback, Herb Howard. I said what I said coming up next. But, man, we got to talk some NBA, man. We're a quarter through the season, and I want to get your opinion, man. We're going to give out some NBA awards. We're going to run through them real quick. I'm going to run a couple by you and see what you think, man. So far this year, a quarter of the way through, the MVP of the league so far. Who you taking?
Whew, that's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid, fam. With the Philadelphia 76ers. First of all, he's always been, a problem, but he's looking like the dominant force they wanted him to turn into when he got drafted.
No doubt.
Philadelphia is number 1 in the East right now, and that's with, I feel like, Ben Simmons kind of fading away in that 76ers totem pole. Tobias Harris is having a real good season. But Joel Embiid is the reason that those guys are the best team in the East right now.
No, I have to agree with you, man. If there was I've got Joel Embiid, I've got the Joker, and I got Kevin Durant as my MVP choices right now. Like you said,
Two centers. That's what's up.
I feel like Joel has done a great job staying on the court. He's stayed healthy for the most part. He's become a defensive force on the other end, which is a major part of winning the championship. And I agree with you, man. He's definitely one of my three. I think the Joker, obviously in Denver, averaging a triple-double, leading that team. They're looking to make a better, a deeper run than they did last year after they beat the Clippers. And Kevin Durant, man, coming off the Achilles injury, averaging a 30 ball, shooting over 50%. The Brooklyn Nets are going to get it together soon. So KD, Joel Embiid, and the Joker are my picks for the MVP so far this season. Rookie of the year, you got one?
Whew. You know what? I haven't had an opportunity to really look at the rookies. I only really by ear. I know Pat Williams deserves to be in the conversation, even though he's kind of in a slow part. But who else? Who else would be in that conversation right now? I know Anthony Edwards. He's had a decent start to his career in Minnesota. LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, LaMelo has done pretty good so far this year. Like you said, Pat Williams has done a good job. Anthony Edwards has done a good job. But if I had to pick a rookie of the year so far, I would take the kid from Iowa State, Tyrese Halliburton, who's playing out in Sacramento.
Over there in Sacramento.
Yeah, man. When De'Aaron Fox was out a couple games, it was the game they played against Portland that I watched. Tyrese Halliburton played a hell of a game. He's very efficient, and even the game they played against the Bulls, he had a very good game. He can shoot the ball. I think right now, if he play any team that he played on, I think that he could
killed
contribute.
The Bulls.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like if he was put in any position on any team, he would be able to come right in and contribute whatever that team needed. So I'm gonna have to give that one to Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. You know what? Rudy Gobert, man.
Obviously.
The Utah Jazz on a 10-11 game winning streak.
I think it's 10 now, yep.
Yeah, and every time I look up, this man got 4 or 5 blocks. Of course, double-digit rebounds. So who else? Who else would be in that conversation?
Just because I don't want to get it to Rudy Gobert because he's the obvious choice. Have you been paying attention to Miles Turner in Indiana?
I have.
Miles Turner averages 4 blocks a game. He's done a number on the defensive end. I think a lot of people were speculating what type of player Miles Turner would be. He's taking his game to the outside. He shoots the 3. Doesn't do a lot of back to the basket stuff like a big guy, but he's definitely stepped his game up on the defensive end, averaging 4 blocks. There's only a few guys in the history of the league that average 4 blocks for a whole season. Manute Bol.
That's nasty, bro.
Yeah, so I would just because
he's averaging 4.2, and Rudy Gobert's number 2, only averaging 2.8.
There you go. So I'm gonna go with Rudy with
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner on that one. 6th man of the year. The usual suspects, Lou Williams and those guys. I don't think Lou Williams is having the year that he would like to have. He's got enough of them awards anyway. I like the kid in Toronto, Chris Boucher. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now, yeah.
Yeah, shooting 45% from 3, averaging 2 blocks in less than 25 minutes. So he's done a great job. I would give him my 6th man. And Coach of the Year, man, for our last topic. Coach of the Year, man, I'm looking at J.B. Bickerstaff over there in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers are playing a very good brand of basketball this year. And the new guy in Indiana, Nate Bjorken, I'm not sure if that's how you say his last name. But
no, man, I'm going with An old friend, man, the one and only Tom Thibodeau out
Thibodeau.
there in New York.
Shout out to Tibbs, man. Got the New York Knicks hooping, got them guys the #1 defense in the league, and got Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett and those guys playing at a high level. Their record may not show it, but Tibbs is definitely, affecting those guys over there. As far as the Bulls are concerned, man, I see a lot of people going way too hard, man. At this point in the season last year, obviously the Bulls are playing a much better brand of basketball, but it's not showing in the records. The Bulls at this point
Not
last
yet.
year,
Not yet.
they were 6-11 last year. They're 7-10 so far this year.
Progress, baby steps.
Baby steps, man. I feel you, man. Shout out to Billy Donovan, Zach LaVine.
Gino.
And that's about it for me.
Video game Dame is at the UC tomorrow, bruh.
Video game Dame. I wanted to keep it on the low. I thought we might have been able to get Dame on today, but Nate Jones didn't hit me back in time. So no Dame today. Hopefully I get a chance to chop it up with it and bring it to the soil next Monday. But I'll be in the UC tomorrow, man. Hopefully, Dame is in the building because I saw him kind of limp off the court last night against Houston, and that's the last thing that the Trailblazers need right now, bro.
Yeah, he knows that they were playing the Bulls the next night. You know how star players do when it comes to the Bulls.
Yeah, man. So on that note, brother, we've reached the end of the week. Another beautiful Friday, another episode of On the Soil, man. Happy to chop it up with everybody, all of the family members tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, all of those different avenues. Go to the website. Drop the link drop the website link in the comments one more time. T. Go cop the Big Scully. And up next, man, we got the brothers, man, the one and only cousin 2, 1/3 of the kickoff kickback, Herb Howard. I said what I said. Intellectual thuggery at its complete, absolute finest, man. Every day, 3 to 6 p.m. Just stay logged on, man. Stay logged on.
Stay logged on, man. It's busting in your weekend with the I Said What I Said family. Just want to make sure we shout out everybody that's already copped their Scullies. We see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support.
Hey, man, spread love, show love, stay away from the haters, but always, always, always continue to keep it player, man. On that note, we'll catch y'all next Monday. Shout out to Ron Rilla holding the brothers down behind the boards.
My boy.
It's a Rizzle. Peace out.
WIFTDPM.